Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific 3 Eastern, Sunday 3 Pacific 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And it's Tuesday here on the show. You know what that means? Lance will be joining us here today as we talk about all of the news, including tonight's NXT, last night's Raw. We got matches coming up for Dynamite, and a lot of news. For those of you who can't wait to see Vince McMahon back on TV again, which should be none of you, he'll be on TV tonight. The TMZ documentary on Hulk Hogan, which airs tonight. He's back on TV for that one. We'll tell you about that. Got an update on Naomi. WWE's head-to-head battle with All Out on Sunday, September 20th, and what is being planned there. We got more on ESPN and WWE and Peacock and everything we've been talking about in terms of television deals over the last couple of days. ESPN, unsurprisingly, is interested in doing something with WWE. Dominic Mysterio talks about his rib injury, alleged or not. Got SmackDown ratings and plenty more. If you want to text us here today, we should have time. 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. I'm F4W at gmail.com, F4W Online, Threads, Instagram, and Cameo, at Bryan Alvarez on X and Blue Sky. So a lot to get into today after the break. So stick around, everybody. Back in a moment with more Wrestling Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. We got a big Elimination Chamber report here. And also Collision from Saturday, which actually was a pretty damn good show in its own right.
I was not told to watch Collision.
Vinny?
I forgot to text him Thursday night. I figured he'd be in bed. I said I'd do it tomorrow. And then Friday I bought a car. I was busy, and I've been forgotten. John comes out, looks into the camera, and says, "There's a vibe in here tonight."
Sure is.
I'll see. Punk's eyes are bugging out of his head. Seth is still there screaming, "Die, die!" And Seth gets his way. Punk dies. John Cena wins. I thought the finish of this was incredible. Great stuff.
God, Travis Scott. Jesus God almighty. This was exactly like when Hogan used to come to the ring, Dennis Rodman trailing him, and Dennis Rodman was like on another planet. He had no idea where he was at, stumbling to the ring. You basically have to drag him down there. This Travis Scott was on another planet, dude.
Well, the first time he was on the show was on that Raw show. He was smoking a blunt in the audience.
They go from the hug to a shot of Cena's angry heel face, and they cut right to Rock On. And then he kicks him right in the balls. And the crowd freaked out. The John Cena turned heel. Hulk Hogan, he was getting booed before he turned. It was a risk, but, they were getting sick of the guy anyway. The problem with Steve Austin was he was the top babyface, and there was nobody to replace him when he turned. John Cena's been gone forever. He comes back. It's not like he was going to be the top babyface. They got 50 babyfaces. Cody's the biggest babyface they got. There's no risk whatsoever turning John Cena heel. He's 10 times more interesting now. The Cena and Cody feud is 1,000 times more interesting.
Travis hit Cody Rhodes in the face as hard as he could. I bet that sucked.
This was a big deal, and I didn't see it coming.
You guys need to listen to Observer Live on Friday.
No thanks.
Because some dude called in, all bombastic and outrageous.
Do y'all think that John Cena is going to be the one that turns heel and joins The Rock as his champion?
No chance. And I shot him down. I laughed at him.
Wow.
I said it's not going to happen. John Cena's here to sell tickets and merch as a babyface for his last year. He ain't turning heel.
They need to make shirts for John Cena that just say, "Can you see me now?"
I got to apologize to old Dwayne. I thought that guy was out of his mind. He got me. It was awesome. I cannot wait to see where they go here. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Lance is joining us here today.
I am, yes.
Yeah.
You act like that's a hardship.
No, I'm in a foul mood for reasons unrelated to this show.
Oh, perfect.
And I should use that to really unleash. But I'm going to wait till tomorrow with Tom. Because I think he'd probably like to join in. You ever met this Paul Walter Hauser?
No, I have not.
You haven't?
Nope.
Yeah. This guy decided he was going to become an internet tough guy yesterday on his Instagram. Cut a promo on me on Instagram.
Good.
Because, you know what's funny? You know what's funny about it? I didn't even say one negative thing about him in that Collision review. It was all Vinny. Yet I am the one he went after.
Guilty by
Probably because
association.
I'm smaller. He thinks he beat Tom in an MMA rules match, and now he's tough. Then this idiot brings up cage match for my record. Like, come on. I know you're an idiot when you go off the cage match for, like, my entire career. I had hundreds of matches that aren't on cage match. When did they even start cage match? Bro, I retired twice before cage match even started. God.
Yeah, they overlooked all those gymnastics students you beat on the floor.
I'm talking actual matches. Are you kidding me? God. What, did he put you up to this? I'll get him tomorrow. And the other reason I'm angry is anybody here in the chat listen to the show on Apple Podcasts and can't get yesterday's Observer Radio? I've had people emailing me, and now I'm people on Twitter saying they can't get it. Lasting, did it come up? Is yesterday's Observer Radio on Apple Podcasts? Golly, everyone says no. We cannot figure out why it's not up there. Like, it's been published. It's been up for hours and hours, but somehow nobody can get it. So, just so everybody knows, we're trying to figure out what's going on, but we can't figure out why it's not working. It's infuriating. All right. Should we talk about real news now?
Sure.
Let's start with this, because I don't know anything about it.
Perfect.
Here's what I'll say, okay? Last night on Raw, the show opened up, and all they said was that Naomi was not cleared for action. She was not medically cleared to compete. And that's all they said, okay? Didn't say anything else. So later in the show, it was supposed to be Naomi versus Io, but obviously they couldn't do the match because Naomi was not medically cleared to compete. And so Io ended up doing a match, which she lost after interference from the Kabuki Warriors, who appear to be turning heel. We'll talk all about Raw later. But the point is, Io goes backstage, she's all upset, and then Stephanie comes up, and Stephanie says,
Not McMahon.
"You're not the only one who was promised a title match." And she storms off, okay? Now, Clash in Paris isn't for 3 more weeks, okay? So, oftentimes when, let's say that she has a concussion, okay? If she had a concussion, you know, they would just be like, you know, she's not medically cleared to compete. They would evaluate her next week. They would evaluate her the week after. To already presume she's not going to be at Clash in Paris, that doesn't sound good, okay? Now, I'll just say this, okay? I am not reporting anything because I don't know what the situation is with Naomi, okay? But I do know this, and I won't say any more, okay? There is definitely a rumor going around in WWE about what's going on with Naomi, and like it's being talked about by people there. And if it is in fact what's going on, she is going to be out for a long, long time, okay? I'll just say that for now. My presumption is that, you know, people will find out probably fairly soon. But I think that it would be a while if this is the case, okay? We'll just have to wait and see. But it certainly looked that way last night on television when they're already looking at the show at the end of August is something she's not going to be on. So there you go. All right, Lance, this is your last show this week, right? What do you got coming up?
I'm going to Baltimore for Emergence on Friday and then TV tapings on Saturday.
Goodness gracious. So the Impact is taped this coming Thursday?
Yes.
All right. Well, this Thursday, guys, we got Matt and Jeff Hardy and Leon Slater against Zach Wentz, Myron Reed, and Cedric Alexander. We got Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay versus Mila Grace and Harley Hudson. I just got an email from a guy that says it's now working on Apple Podcasts. Can anyone else confirm? And we didn't change anything, which is even more infuriating.
Breathe, Brian, breathe.
Dude, it's been a rough morning, bro. It has been a rough morning. Mike Santana versus Eric Young. Frankie Kazarian interviews Steve Macklin and Jake something. Matt Cardona versus John Schuyler. Guy on the YouTube, we put these videos up on YouTube. Guy got really mad at me for not knowing Jake something's actual name. How dare I call him Jake something? The man has a name.
His name's Jake something.
Yeah, someone needs to clue that guy in. Maybe it was Paul Walter Hauser that put that comment up there. So anyway, Emergence has got Trick Williams against Moose. Leon Slater versus Cedric Alexander for the X title. Hardys versus the Rascals for the tag titles. The Elegance brand with that guy against the Inspiration, Fatal Influence, and Lei Ying Lee and Zaya Brookside. Steve Macklin versus Jake something, no count out, no DQ. Mike Santana versus Sami Callihan. And Ryan Nemeth versus the Hometown Man.
Yes, and if Sami Callihan loses, he's saying he will retire.
That's another one now. Just like, well, I don't know who the Hometown Man is, but yeah. Brian don't want none of Paul Walter Hauser. God. That actually irritated me too, but that's another story. All right. So tonight there's a TMZ documentary on Hulk Hogan, and there's a trailer out, and Vince McMahon is apparently going to be on this show. The Real Hulk Hogan, tonight on Fox, 8 Eastern, available on Hulu tomorrow. Today would have been Hogan's birthday, by the way. Advertised to take part in the documentary. These are the advertised people. Vince McMahon, Jimmy Hart, Sylvester Stallone, Mick Foley, Goldberg, Mark Henry, Charlotte, Jacob Fatu, and Alexa Bliss. What a list of people. And they interviewed Dave as well, but he doesn't think he's going to make it. He doesn't
Not going to make the cut?
Nah. They asked... He believes that they had a story they wanted to tell, which was that like nobody went to wrestling until like 1984 when Hulk Hogan exploded the business. You know, the old small, smoky, smoke-filled buildings, no fans, no kids. But Hulk Hogan turned the whole business around for the first time in history. And, Dave's not going to let that one go. So we'll see what they do tonight. McMahon can be heard in the trailer saying it was a tremendous shock. It was a blow to my heart. So anyway, that's tonight if you guys care.
Nope.
Don't care? I'm not going to watch it.
Me either.
Can only imagine. All right, a couple of notes. So first off, when we talked about AEW going head to head on Tuesday with NXT, this happens every year. It's moved. I forget the sport. I actually deleted this article. But anyway, it happens every year. And it appears that what they're doing is that it's not Collision on Tuesday, head-to-head with NXT, and Dynamite on Wednesday. What's actually happening is they're branding the Tuesday show Dynamite. It'll be a Title Tuesday Dynamite.
We're finally getting Tuesday Night Dynamite.
Tuesday Night Dynamite is going head-to-head with NXT. And then I believe the Wednesday show, which is a Collision, will be taped for that weekend. So I believe that's the way it's doing. They've been doing this for a couple of years now. Whoosh, just goes right over my head. And we'll talk about the pay-per-view head-to-head in a moment. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Okay, can everyone hear it?
Yeah.
There's a mystery bell at Granny's house. She can't hear it. Take off your headphones for a second.
I had them on wrong anyway.
Okay.
I can't get them on right. What?
Take them off and listen.
You have in your elbow?
Is the fan on a computer?
Nothing.
All right. Well, this is going to be an exciting show.
Gonna have bells ringing through the whole thing, and it's every week. It's got to be me.
Do you have a neighbor that's an ice cream man
No,
practicing out there?
I got a neighbor that smokes marijuana.
I'm sure you do. I guess
Whatever that noise is, I mean, it's still going.
Yeah, it's not going to stop, dude.
Brian, do you want me to get off here and go see if open the door and see if there's anything out there?
You think something's out the front door?
Is he ringing the bell the entire time?
No, Granny, you don't
Let
need
me
it.
in! Let me
it's
in!
It's fine. It's fine.
If it's death, don't open the door.
Thank you, Craig. This person thinks it's a stove timer.
Have you burned the roast?
No, I don't have a stove. You want me to just get off here?
No. We're going to barrel through it.
I'd love it.
You're not even doing anything. Granny, Nick says that you've got an old-fashioned analog alarm clock in Terry's bedroom.
I don't know. I got a new alarm clock, battery operated. Is that what she meant?
Well, whatever it is, it's going haywire right now.
Oh, it might be my alarm,
Do you think?
but it's way back in the bedroom.
Don't worry about it right now. But when the show's over, you might want to go...
That's what it is.
Okay.
Solve the mystery.
Is there a reason you didn't turn it off when it started ringing?
Well, I wasn't in there. I didn't.
Duh.
I took a nap. I took a nap and set the alarm. I thought I shut it off, but I probably didn't.
No.
You probably didn't.
That's life.
I would say with a good deal of certainty that you didn't turn it off.
Brian, that's life around here.
Yeah, I'm well aware. I do the show with Dave, too.
Say,
Hear all sorts of things in the background.
did I do that? You know,
Yeah, you did do that.
or I thought I did that, but I didn't.
in there.
I wake up and I see lights on, and I say, I didn't turn those lights on. What's going on?
Maybe the place is haunted.
Could be.
Okay.
It's my brain that's haunted.
Well, I hope not. Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here. Wrestling Observer Live. Lance is joining us as well. And, okay, so, before we get to the AEW WWE thing, during the break, Lance brought up, Bret Hart was angry about what happened at SummerSlam. And for those that don't know, Lance, what happened with Bret?
What I read was he was invited to SummerSlam and told that they would have a seat for him to sit in the crowd and watch the show. And apparently when he got there, they told him they didn't have a seat for him. He was not impressed.
Okay, so here's what I can say about that. Because when I first heard the story, I was like, what? And it still kind of is. That's my reaction because, I've been to many, many WWE shows. And the floor area opposite or the same side of the hard camera, the ringside floor, same side as the hard camera. There's a giant ringside section that there's never anybody sitting there, okay? Because that's the area where if you're a family member or whatever, you get taken to sit there. So sometimes they'll go we're in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Nature Boy Ric Flair is here. And they'll show Flair in the crowd and he'll wave or whatever. We see this all the time with whoever. And, what they do is whoever the person is, they're not there the whole show. They're in the back And then they get brought down to ringside to stand there. They do their wave like they've been watching the show, and then they get them out of there. So that's the way they do it. And, there's family there and this and that. So, like, when I heard the story, it was sort of, what are you talking about? Come on. But, and this is not a defense of WWE, because you should never call somebody like Bret Hart, say you have a seat for them, and then not have a seat for them. But they've been selling a lot of tickets lately. And it's actually been over a year that for a lot of shows, there is a no comp rule. And it's not just like no comps it's like your family can't come. There's no room for them. They cannot get in. We're talking like main roster wrestlers are unable to get their family in because there's no seats. They've sold everything. And I mean, apparently the show that this happened to him, he was not the only person that this happened to. Noelle Foley was there, and apparently the same thing happened to her. Like, they told her she had a seat, and she got there, and then she ended up in the press box because they didn't have a seat for her. So, my basic point, I don't want to defend them because they shouldn't have done it, but they weren't specifically targeting Bret. He was not the only one that this happened to at that show. And obviously, with that said, like, don't tell someone to come if you haven't specifically reserved an actual seat for them.
Especially someone
ridiculous.
the caliber of Bret Hart.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But it happened to several people there, apparently. All right, so this somebody on the chat was like, "Don't even tell me this head-to-head is going to be Cody and Brock. They can't possibly be that petty." So September 20th, it'll be AEW All Out, head-to-head with a WWE main roster show, which will be taking place from Indianapolis. And yes, the main event is scheduled to be John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. So it's obvious why they're doing this. And I was actually told that there is going to be one other instance this year where WWE is going to be countering an AEW show. I don't know what it is, but there's going to be at least one more. And, we talked about this on Observer Radio. And my feeling, and Lance, we can obviously get your thoughts as well. My feeling is, if you are a big AEW fan, and you like the card, and you are planning to buy All Out on pay-per-view, you are going to do that, and you will watch the WWE show on Peacock at a different time. Or even just whatever match you want to see. I can't imagine anybody being a big AEW fan, wanting to watch the show, but choosing not to because Brock Lesnar and Cody is taking place on the same day for free on Peacock. So it was one thing back in the day when the idea of running competition, you maybe only had a VCR or maybe you couldn't record two things or whatever. It ain't like that anymore. Anybody can watch anything anytime they want. I don't picture this taking one person away from AEW or one person away from WWE, Brock and Cena, whatever I said, I don't know. But the point is, I don't see it affecting AEW at all. I mean, you may not watch them both on the same day because it's going to be a long day, but I don't think anyone's skipping buying an AEW pay-per-view because there's WWE on the other channel.
I'm going to pull a Dave and say that, there might be one, Brian.
Thank you, Lance.
But you're right. Like, if you're a big enough fan that you follow AEW and you customarily drop your, I don't know what it is now, $50 to order a show, you really like these shows, you're willing to pay $50 for them, you will still order the show, and you can pick up WWE so easy on demand on Netflix or Peacock for an hour, what have you. Again, it might be 1 to 5 people that'll go, hey, I'll just watch the other show, but it's like, I can't imagine it makes a significant difference.
The thing, too, also is when you look back at former head-to-head battles, I mean, there weren't a lot of head-to-head pay-per-view battles. But if you had, let's say that the WWE John Cena Brock Lesnar show was a $49 pay-per-view, and the AEW show was a $49 pay-per-view, okay? If they were both pay-per-views, I can see a person like me, for example, who's a fan of, I like all wrestling. If I really wanted to see both shows, I can see maybe I would have to make a choice because I really don't want to pay $90 or $100.
Kids in particular.
Yeah, it's like a lot of money if you watch both. So I would maybe pick and choose which one I want to watch. It's not like that anymore. AEW is the only promotion that runs on pay-per-view now. Like starting in January, even UFC isn't on pay-per-view. So even those days where it's like, is there going to be competition on Saturday with a UFC show or whatever? It's like, dude, it's all free basically. If you subscribe to Peacock or whatever. It's like
TNA still does pay-per-views, Brian.
Oh yeah, I guess you do. But if you have TNA Plus, you're not paying for the pay-per-view.
We have 4 pay-per-views a year that are pay-per-views
that you can't watch on TNA Plus.
There's an additional higher level subscription for that.
Okay, but if you are a big TNA fan, you've probably got that tier, right? I would think
hope so.
I would think so. You're not paying extra. So, I don't know. Whatever. I think it's just it gives me something to do on a Saturday. I mean, I got a lot of stuff I can do that day. Do a lot of work, but I don't think it's like costing either promotion viewers or anything like that.
Another sleepover weekend for you and Vinny?
Yeah. I always make a good steak. I do that normally, but I make him one.
You took me and Tom to Applebee's, but you make steak for Vinny.
I wasn't cooking back then. And I'm pretty sure Tom requested Applebee's. He's changed his story in the past. Then he accuses me of gaslighting. Come on. And you know what? It doesn't even matter. The fact is he didn't barf because of Applebee's. He barfed because he drank about 78 beers after going to Applebee's and then vomited. So I don't want to hear it. All right. ESPN would be interested in hosting the back catalog on its new streaming service if the opportunity arises. Of course, the Peacock deal is going to be ending soon. March of 2026, actually. We don't got much time left. So it does appear we're actually going to have a bidding war for this library. Can you imagine?
Can't imagine it'd be for a ton of money, but you never know.
Bro, who knows? At this point, I didn't think UFC was going to get $1.1 billion a year. That's a lot of money. Guys, listen, I love the old stuff. Like, we're watching Mid-South tonight. I love watching the show. I had a great time. I didn't have a great time, but I watched the Monday Night Wars twice, okay? And the fact is, like, guys like me like it, but the reality is nobody's watching the library. You guys understand? Nobody goes back and watches that stuff, except, like, the real WWE version of sickos. So the fact that it's going to be like a bidding war for it, that's something else. Good for them. We got a big library here, I got a lot of podcasts. All right. Dominic Mysterio says everyone thought he was faking his recent rib injury. He did? I didn't. I thought that was real. Did you think that was fake?
Nope.
I didn't either. Kind of like how Seth said they fooled everybody.
Exactly.
All right. Last note. SmackDown. 1.557 million viewers, up 0.8%. Are you okay with that, or is that incorrect?
0.8% is fine.
0.48 in 18 to 49. 0.48, Anyway, we're going to go to the break and talk Raw. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Well, we reviewed SmackDown yesterday, Tom, and you don't even get SmackDown. You're very, just, you know how you are.
Fine. Whatever. I don't care. Whatever.
That's your impression of
Yeah,
me?
that's my impression of you.
Wow.
So what are we, at least, I hope you at least watch a SmackDown main event.
I watched the entire show.
Okay, because there's a lot of people that still like your review, Tom.
I went on the board and I saw like 2 people.
Yeah, do you go on Twitter?
Yeah, I do go on Twitter.
You read my emails?
I do go on
the
Twitter.
Text messages? I mean,
do you go on Twitter? Because if you do,
yes.
You would have seen one of the greatest moments in world history.
In world history, really.
World history. Frank Tate walked away the victor of the fight, but he walked away an even bigger winner when it comes to life. This man completed what I would say is the best high five, the best dap up in the history of the galaxy. This man had his dog. And when I say dog,
barely a dog.
I mean D-O-G and D-A-W-G. This was a dog, baby. The dog was so proud. You can see just the elation in that dog's face. He threw that paw up. He let it hang for a few moments, and then he brought it down for the dap.
Tom's not even doing this justice. Everyone has seen a dog,
Listen.
like you put your hand out and the dog like puts his paw up to shake hands. This freaking dog goes, ah, hapa! Like, what? That was more than a high five. I don't even know what you would even term that. He dunked. He dunked that man.
30 million views on this clip. And that is about 1/10 of what it should have. So if you haven't seen it, you deserve it. Treat yourself. Go to my Twitter. Watch Frank Tate high five his dog.
No, he did not high five his dog.
The dog high fived
his dog high fived him. Yes. He just wanted like a, just boom. And this dog was like, no way, brother. You knock that man out. I'm going to give you a big time dunking high five from way up high. You go high five, up high, down low, too slow. This was an up high. Guy should have pulled his hand away.
It's the best thing you've ever seen.
Man, too slow, Joe. Yeah, it was pretty good. Not going to lie. I liked it. All right, back here on the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Lance is joining us here today. Lance, what did you think of Raw?
I found parts of it frustrating.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like what?
The finish of the Sami Zayn match, the finish of the main event. I find those very frustrating.
Yeah, they got a lot of bad finishes.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
I also, and it's minute to keep me sane and not getting too angry, promo segments, if something comes up that makes me annoyed, I fast forward. So I didn't see much of the opening promo because when CM Punk come out and said he should be the world champion right now, and I'm like, no, you shouldn't. Seth Rollins followed the well-established, perfectly legal rules by which to use his Money in the Bank. He is the rightful champion. It has been established for over 20 years. Stop complaining.
Wow. Lay the hammer down on that poor bloke.
So I hit fast forward once he said that. And then when LA Knight come out, I'm like, well, I'll give LA a chance. And he says, I got to admit, Punk, you were robbed. And I'm like, no, he wasn't. He was beaten fairly per the well-established rules. And I hit forward again.
Goodness gracious. Well, he was beaten fairly per the well-established rules.
Yes.
That is, in fact, correct. Where's my my thing here?
And I've been outspoken. I don't like the Money in the Bank concept. A sporting organization would create a set of rules where a guy can come in and smash someone over the head repeatedly with a metal briefcase until he's unconscious, and then we can have a title fight. And it's perfectly legal and acceptable.
Doesn't seem right to you?
No, it does not.
All right. Well, we'll get into all that as we get going here today. I think the thing with the finish is I can't figure out what I like and don't like, in the sense that I guess maybe it's worse when it's like a good match with a bad finish.
When you've already emotionally invested and you've gotten into it. And I was getting there with Sammy. And I think, too, because he did the thing with Pierce about, after this match, we can talk about you getting a world title shot, which is something many people would like to see, a babyface reaching his goal. Tremendous. And then they even covered their bases with Sheamus giving his word he will not interfere and screw up the match, which was the obvious DQ crap finish. And then the match is going on, and you're getting into it, and you're getting invested, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah. So it opened up with Punk coming out to open the show, and yes, we talked about this. He thinks he should be champion. He vows to get it again. LA Knight thinks he should be champion. He vows to get it again. They ended up getting attacked by, the heels come out, Paul Heyman, and they set up a Punk and LA versus Braun and Bronson main event. Braun is what they're calling them, which I can't think of a worse name for a top heel team than Braun. That's like something you would give to undercard geeks. But I can't say on the air what Braun Breaker said in the aisle afterwards, but I was howling. This guy's awesome. He's a new Scott Steiner. Then we had the Judgment Day backstage, and they didn't know what was up with Naomi's title, and El Grande comes in, and Finn pulls him aside and says, I don't think these guys like old El Grande. And Dom says, he's good. I'm the king of the luchadors. He's going to help me win this mega title on Saturday. Even though they're in the match together, both fighting for the title. And Finn sent the rest of them to go talk to Adam Pearce. It was AJ and Dragon Lee versus Dom and El Grande, which was a good match. The one thing I will say about these shows is, man, these shows have heat. Friday's SmackDown, there was so much heat for that show. This show, the fans are just super into everybody. They're into all the matches. They're into the hot tags and everything. They're even into like the heat, which is impossible, with one exception. So big comeback there at the end, and the finish is Grande necks AJ on the ropes, and he very dramatically tries to load the mask, but he gets booted. The metal falls to the ground. Dom ends up putting the mask on, loads it, ends up headbutting AJ and pinning him. So the three guys in the mega match on Saturday at Triple Mania, none of them were beaten in this match. So Dragon Lee escaped by the skin of his teeth, which he will not on Saturday. So anyway, I think Dom should win that mega title. That's my vote.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain about that at all.
Sammy met with Pierce, wants to know when he's going to get his world title shot. Can he get it at Clash in Paris? And Pierce said, listen, why don't you just deal with Rusev tonight? So Sheamus shows up, and Pierce tells him, do not, whatever happened last week with Rusev, that cannot happen tonight. Sheamus goes, who's going to stop me? And Sammy said, listen, this match is very important to me. Please don't get involved. And so Sheamus says, fine, I give my word. But as soon as the match is over, he says, that Bulgarian bastard is mine. Pierce met with Io, set up a match with Roxanne later. We had the Rusev and Sammy match, which actually, it was a good match because Sammy is so over as a babyface.
He's also in Quebec, which helps.
Well, yeah, but it's every match. It's like I remember in 2006 going to Bola when he was El Generico, and
supposedly
my buddy Jubbs is just like, let me tell you something about this El Generico. He has the best match on every show he's on. And I was like, oh yeah? And in fact, he had the best match on every frickin' show that I saw him on. And, there's so much talent today that sometimes it's not the best match, but he is still, and this is 20 years later, he still is just the most incredible babyface.
Yeah.
And
finding a bad Sami Zayn match might be damn near impossible.
He's about to get the win, and Solo, Tama, and Tala attacked for the DQ. They just ran in for the DQ. It's just a horrible finish. And they kill the guy, and Sheamus runs down and brawls with Rusev. So obviously they're going to be doing Sammy and Solo for the title at Clash in Paris, which Solo's such a geek, but he's going to beat Sammy.
Did you catch the irony of Cole mentioning the Mounties?
He did mention the Mounties.
And did you know that Quebec is one of 2 provinces that doesn't have Mounties?
I don't know if it was irony or if he's an idiot.
I'm assuming he was just trying to make a Jacques Rougeau reference.
Yes, I presume that's...
But Quebec and Ontario have provincial police, and the RCMP do not reside there.
Wow. Solo and his crew got kicked out, and then they signed Penta versus Woods next week. Bronson cut a promo on Roman Reigns. This was a great promo. I want a match where they hang the shoes from a telephone wire and they get a ladder. And one of them's got to go up and get those shoes back. Pretty sure they're wrestling at the Clash in Paris. Io and Roxanne was freaking great. These two are great. And great heat. The fans absolutely love Io. And the finish is the Kabuki Warriors rundown. They weren't supposed to be there. Like total heels, they hold Roxanne so Io can hit her. But Roxanne moves, runs them together, rolls up Io, and pins her. And they did an angle afterwards where Io and Asuka and Kairi, Io and Asuka get into a big argument. Asuka shoves her and storms off. Poor Kairi is heartbroken, which is about the saddest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. She ends up leaving with Asuka. So it looks like the Kabuki Warriors are turning heel. And we're going to get Asuka.
Io wouldn't be a horrible thing.
Oh, that's coming. And that's going to be awesome. That's another one, by the way. Golly, Asuka is so freaking great. Golly. Jey Uso did a promo. LA Knight showed up. He won. They both want the title, of course. Then we had Becky and Maxine. God bless Maxine. I wish her all the best. She seems like a very nice lady. But she is absolutely lost out there. And in 2006, which is funny because if Paul Walter Hauser looked on Cage Match, he wouldn't find this either. In 2006, Becky, as Rebecca Quinn, was doing a bunch of matches in Pacific, Washington. Okay? Pacific, Washington is as obscure as it sounds. They ran an automotive repair garage. They would take out the cars, set the ring up in some chairs, and people would do matches, 18 people there. And she was having significantly better matches with folks in that automotive garage in Pacific, Washington in 2006. This was rough.
Even story-wise, it would be like booking an MMA fight with me and John Jones. It's like, why would you do that?
Well, the only reason they did it is because Bayley challenged her. Wasn't like Adam Pearce decided.
But still, the company still decided to put one of the greatest women wrestlers of all time in there with a woman who, in storyline, is not any good yet.
Bayley did a pre-tape promo. She's just lost and sad and depressed. And then they go to Lyra, who now she feels guilty, but is trying to convince herself this isn't her fault. Bayley's got to figure this out on her own. We had Punk and LA Knight versus Braun. And this was not as good as the earlier matches with run-ins. It was fine. It was a basic match. They beat on Punk, and then he gave the hot tag to LA, and then they beat on LA, and he gave the hot tag to Punk, and he got him going there at the end, and then he ends up hitting the flying elbow. He tears his shirt off. He goes for the GTS, and Seth just runs in for the DQ again. It's like, oh my God.
Did you notice the Scott Steiner tutelage spot?
Which one?
When Braun was on the apron, he made sure the ring skirt wasn't under his toes before he jumped to the desk. If you recall the spot where Scott Steiner was on the apron and tried to jump on Test, who was in the aisleway, and his toes slipped on the ring skirt and he landed right on his face.
God.
Just watching Braun stand there and he's digging his toes in to make sure the ring skirt's not under them.
And he was gigantic.
Yes.
When he did that.
Landed terribly.
Yeah. So the heels beat down the baby faces. Jey Uso's music hits. He runs down. Bronson ends up punching the chair out of his hand. Jey makes the comeback, sends Bronson packing. Adam Pearce comes out, and he ends up signing a 4-way Clash in Paris. Seth, Jey Uso, LA Knight, CM Punk. Seth is furious. They hit the ring. They all beat down the baby faces again. And it looks like at some point in the next 3 weeks, we have got a 6-man to set up that Clash in Paris show. So it was all right. I mean, the finishes are terrible, but the show was fine, I would say.
They love their multi-man title matches.
Yeah,
Or multi-person. They do it with both men and women.
We've had a lot of those 4-way matches lately. So the lineup thus far for Clash in Paris is the 4-way. Seth, Jey, LA, and Punk. And then I guess whatever they're going to do with the women's world title, which actually, it was supposed to be Stephanie versus Naomi. Stephanie's not going to get her shot. Io also didn't get her shot. But I guess Io did lose to Roxanne. So they could do Io, Roxanne, and Stephanie in a multi-person match.
And if Naomi ends up being cleared, then it could be a 4-way for the title.
Yeah. And then John Cena against Logan Paul. Which actually probably will be pretty good, for being honest.
You know, one thing that was really impressive with SummerSlam, it's like Logan Paul, I think, was the first ever celebrity outsider wrestler guy that had to play the wrestler that carries the outside celebrity guy.
Yes, that happened.
And he did it well.
All right, back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. What was up with this week? Everyone thinking Monday was Tuesday.
Everyone? You, sir.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it happened, it was like I got all these people that were messaging me going, my God, I thought it was Tuesday too today. It was like something happened with like the moon or something, and it caused everybody to think that Monday was Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's like, God, am I losing it?
Yes.
Have you ever lost something and gave up all hope before finding it in an obvious place?
Yeah, my mind. I went to go make her the quesadilla, and I opened up the pantry, and there's no tortillas. Looked down on the ground, and there's the package that they used to be in, but there's no tortillas. So I call Hanale over, and she says, well, I didn't know how to close the bag.
Uh-oh.
So I put them all in a box of light bulbs. I said, why did you put them in a box with light bulbs? Swear to God, she goes, if that box is good enough for light bulbs, it's good enough for tortillas. I said, no, that's not worse. I open the box, these tortillas are hard as a rock.
She is so your daughter.
Crumbling to dust.
It's insane.
God.
I lost my wallet at the Alamo Dome. The next day, I got a call from an usher that he found it. When I met up with him, everything was still in it. He refused to accept any money from me.
Wow.
Wow. I once lost my wallet in El Segundo.
Lantian says Big Dave's sanity.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he found it then. It's right there. It's never lost.
99% of the time, no matter where I park, I always know exactly where it is. But there's always that 1% of the time where is my car?
Dude.
And it's like in a bizarre place. Like, what was going on? All right, Granny, what do we got?
We need to buy you a machine that you speak into, and it converts your voice into text.
Oh, my God.
So you don't have to write it down anymore.
Absolutely not.
And then I think even better, we put that text into a text-to-voice app and have it read her.
Oh, my God.
Whatever. Stacy Keebler, her and Tori had a eggnog fight. Just a minute here.
Okay.
Looks at my page.
Then he
I
looks
decided
completely depressed over there.
Take something from down below.
Mind your own business.
They're like,
Ray Kinsella builds a baseball field
Field
on
of
his
Dreams. Kevin Costner.
baseball.
James Earl Jones.
If you build it, they will come.
Iowa.
Oh, all right.
You didn't let me finish the question, Brian.
She's right.
Oh, she yells at me. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Lance Storm joining us here today. So we actually have 4 things for Dynamite. I thought we might have more by now, but we do not. Hangman Page and MJF are going face-to-face, so they're almost surely the Forbidden Door match. Jon Moxley and Kevin Knight. Adam Copeland and Stokely. Maybe Stokely's just going to beat him so bad that Christian has to make the save.
If he does, then maybe he'll get some hose.
Kyle Fletcher will then meet his Forbidden Door opponent face-to-face, which is believed to be Tanahashi. But it's a mystery until the show takes place. But, you know, there's a lot of people still around in the G1, so I guess we'll find out who it ends up being. So anyway, that is a Dynamite show on Wednesday. And then tonight, it is the Brian, Vinny, Granny, Craig, and Sean show. We will be watching Mid-South Wrestling, Season 6, Episode 36 on Peacock. The show is a blast from the past in a lot of ways. So if you get a chance to check it out, Mid-South Wrestling, Season 6, Episode 36 will be tonight on the Brian and Vinny show. So anyway, we're going to wrap this one up for today. Lance, good luck with everything this weekend. And we'll talk to you, I guess, next week. And Filthy's going to be on tomorrow. And maybe he'll be up for Fun Friday as well. We shall see. We'll have a new After Dark tomorrow as well. Lots of stuff coming up on Sports Byline, so check it out. And that's it. We'll talk to you next time. Wrestling Observer Live.